President, I give notice on the next sitting day I will move 1, that this House notes that A, Captain Paul Watson, the founder of Sea Shepherd and co-founder of Greenpeace, is a dedicated anti-whaling campaigner who has fought tirelessly for the protection of marine animals.
Ms Kate Fairman.
Mr President, I give notice that on the next sitting day I will move 1, that this House notes that A, on the 22nd of July 2024, founder of Sea Shepherd and anti-whaling activist Paul Watson was arrested under an international arrest warrant issued by Japan.
Bob Brown has appealed to Tasmanian-born Queen Mary of Denmark over Paul Watson's arrest, saying, and I quote, "Denmark is now complicit in aiding and abetting the criminals to imprison the lawkeeper," end quote.
The Honourable Robert Borsak.
Thank you, Mr President. I give notice that on the next sitting day I will move 1, that this House acknowledges that the high seas are not lawless and that seafarers, ships and companies and countries are all subject to maritime law, a system of rules, international agreements and conventions that together govern activities on the high seas. 2, that this House note that the arrest of extremist environmental terrorist and pirate Paul Watson on the 23rd of July marks a significant moment in the fight for justice and the rule of law on the high seas. 3, that this House notes that Mr Paul Watson is an individual known for his piracy, extreme and often illegal actions under the guise of environmental activism. By arresting Watson, Denmark has upheld the principle that international waters are not a lawless zone where individuals can impose their will through force, violence and intimidation. 3, safety and security at sea. Mr Watson's piratical tactics, which include ramming vessels and deploying dangerous devices, have put countless lives at risk, both of his own crew and those of other vessels. His long overdue arrest removes a significant threat to the safety and security of maritime operations, allowing for peaceful and lawful navigation. Mr Watson's self-styled piracy, he has a skull and crossbones style insignia, vigilantism undermines the legitimate efforts of environmental organisations working within the bounds of the law. His arrest signals an end to such rogue operations that harm the credibility of lawful and peaceful environmental advocacy. While protecting the environment is a noble cause, it must be done within the framework of international law. Mr Watson's arrest reinforces the importance of adhering to legal processes and agreements such as the International Whaling Commission's regulations, rather than resorting to illegal actions such as piracy on the open and high seas.